So, this is new. Lean back, grab a tea, and we're going to get through some answers. I'm going to give you some answers. Why should you grab some tea? Don't grab the coffee again. Don't grab the coffee. In Germany, we say that tea solves everything. You got sore throat, tea. You got diarrhea, tea. You're sad, tea. So, trust me, grab a tea. And I wrote down a few of your questions. You had the chance to ask me questions in Instagram. If you don't follow me there yet, go to Instagram, SmarterBella Teaching. Just SmarterBella, you will find me. Okay, first question. Was am wichtigsten ist, wenn man anfängt, Deutsch zu sprechen? How to not be afraid of talking. So many of you think I'm a genius because I speak 10 languages and I don't master all of them. Not even German, I would say, and I do German book clubs and I'm a German native speaker, but there are always things to discover about languages. In the book clubs, there's like almost no book at all that I read where I don't have a word that I don't know. So, how not to be afraid of that or of speaking? You gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's normal to be afraid at the beginning, and the more you speak, the more you practice, the more you see, okay, I'm going to survive in this situation anyway. You see what I just did anyway. It was very German, and I will not cut this out. I will leave this in, so you see, even if you do fail, and it wasn't on purpose, even if you do fail, people understand you, and just continuing with the conversation is way more important than getting everything perfect. So face your fears, start speaking, and you will get better automatically. I will give more answers to different topics. If you have any more questions, please drop them down below and I will answer them in my next video if you do have questions. And I can also go into detail about any of the things I said here. So, was motiviert dich? What motivates me? What motivates me, I guess, to teach or to study. What motivates me to study languages is actually traveling and the people, connecting to the people. I think a language is such an amazing way to connect to the locals, to get to know a country, its culture, traditions, its vibe that you don't have if you don't know the language. It's just no chance. You're a tourist, you're a outsider, you're something people see as a cash machine if you're lucky. And it's not the same. If you speak the language, people smile more, they give you free ouzos in Greece, for example, and it's a different experience. So no matter where I travel, I always know the basics. Even when I traveled to Sri Lanka and I didn't want to study the language, I was like, no, don't study another language, chill. Then I learned hello, goodbye, thank you, what is this, how are you? And this is already like great possibility to open doors and connect more to the people. This is what motivates me to study, but what motivates me to teach is the success stories of my students, definitely. Like to see them grow, to see them succeed, to see them, like watch them get better and better, pass their exams, pass their driver's license, go to a doctor and be able to just manage their life on their own is incredible. It's incredible. It's this feeling of helping and being part of their success stories and enabling you to reach your goals is what I love and what motivates me. Ich brauche Tipps für Vokabeln zu lernen. So I need some tips to study vocabulary. I keep forgetting. This is normal. We all forget vocabulary. There is a language theory called spaced repetition. So you learn a new word, and how to do that. Maybe I start there. How to do that. You learn a new word, and there are several possibilities. You write it, you speak it, say it out loud, you listen to it. You know, there are different learning types, so maybe you're more visual type, you definitely need to write the word. Write it down 10 times. If it doesn't stick, if you really have difficulties with one word, I always say, okay, how do we humans study? How do we function? Strong emotions. This is also why advertisement, publicity with strong emotions works so well. Because if it just doesn't bother me, I'll forget it. So what doesn't bother us is sex and crime. Sex and crime evokes strong emotions. So if you can make a naughty story in your head about the word you want to study, or make like a really bloody crime story out of it, I swear to you, you will not forget it. You will not forget it. And then when you did that, you learn the word, and if you're lucky, it sticks directly. You remembered it, you have this bloody or naughty story in your head, and you don't forget it anymore. If you do forget it, then you use spaced repetition, which says you leave spaces between the repetitions. So you start with a word, you study it, and then you leave a short space. Maybe you repeat it at the beginning every day. 1 week, every day. You look at the word, you write the word, you say the word out loud. Then with the time, you remember the word, so you make the spaces longer. You start with a 1 week space. Then after you start with a 1 week space between the repetition, you repeat it after 1 month. And then maybe you just need 1 year and everything comes up. So many people came to me and said, "Oh, Isabella, I studied French at school, but I forgot everything." At the beginning, maybe you're right. Maybe you did forget everything. But then when we started to repeat some things, started to talk, started to do some exercises, like so much came back, just popped up again. And this can happen to you too, because this repetition thing and activation, a lot of mindset, this is another thing, mindset. Just tell yourself, I can do it. If you're at the beginning of studying a language, you're already like, oh, I'm stupid, I cannot do it. You're a genius, Isabella, you can do it, but I cannot do it. Then you lost already. So what if you just fake it till you make it, and you say, I can do it. I can study this weird, crazy language, German, for example. Or like I am currently studying Greek, because I want to travel to Greece in May. And I want to be prepared. I want to order in the restaurant my food. I want to talk to the people. I want to do small talk. I want to have a chat at the beach if I go for a walk or something. So, of course, my name is Smarter Bella. You figured that out. And I also like to study with the SMART method. And what does the S of SMART mean? You know it. You know it? Specific. Be specific. What do you want to achieve? What is your goal? Why do you want to study this language? Be very clear about this. I'm getting all over the place with the answers. Okay. Kultur. Why I can't integrate. Okay. A part of this is maybe what I said before. The culture. You need, of course, in my opinion, you need to master the language first. There's no way of really connecting to the people if you don't speak their language. And with the culture, there's a lot of watching, observing. Like, don't try to... There are two extremes. Some people like lean in too much. They're like, oh, tell me about this. Let's do this. Let's go there. And Germans at the beginning were famous for being a bit more reserved, being a bit more timid and suspicious. Like, who are you? What are you doing? What do you want from me? Why do you want to be my friend? So, especially for the German culture, be prepared for that. So don't be too much in their faces, but also don't do the opposite and be too shy, like not creating any interactions or possibilities for interactions at all. And what always happens is that you find yourself in one of the two extremes. So try to watch the people, observe how are they doing it, and show some consistency. Be there, show up. Maybe they will not look at you the first time you're going with your kids to the ballet class of your daughter, I don't know. But maybe if you show up consistently, maybe you bring a cake. Maybe it takes them 2 months and then you're still there. And then the next month you say hello. The next month you say hello, how are you? And so on. Like give it time, but also don't give up. Be consistent about it. And then look what the others are doing. If you're there and nobody's talking to you, maybe you can watch. What are they doing? How are they behaving? How are they interacting? So I study a lot, like 10 languages I'm speaking, more or less. I studied a lot by just copying, copy paste. What are they doing? I do the same. I have some students who should have B2 or C1 level, which is really advanced already, but they still make beginner's mistakes sometimes. Why? Because they want to sound too fancy, too advanced, too posh, and they want to make crazy advanced structures, and in the end, they just get the whole sentence wrong. So first, get your basis, be consistent, learn basic stuff, copy, and only if you feel good with copying sentences or so-called like fragments of sentences, so-called chunks, learn the chunks. Learn how to say der Tee schmeckt. Der Tee schmeckt. Don't make it crazy. Don't say, this is the best tea I ever experienced in my life. Just be simple. Keep it simple. Stupid. Kiss principle. Warum machst du diese Methode? So why am I doing this method? I think I answered that question already. Was machst du noch viele andere Sachen? So what other things am I doing with my life? So the languages were always my passion, my hobby, my thing I wanted to do every day. And I'm so glad that I'm now able to say this is my 8th year. I'm teaching languages full time, and that I was able to make this my profession, my job. I also do book clubs. I have a German-speaking book club online, which you can participate if you want to, but you need to be advanced. I have an English-speaking book club offline in Nuremberg, where I live. I play the handpan. It's this instrument which looks like a mix of a turtle and a UFO. So I'm not really that good at it, but I love it. I love the sound. I love the feeling. I love to jam with others. I do that. I'm a yoga teacher. I teach yoga every week. Not now. Like I had an accident in December, so I couldn't even walk. I couldn't work out. I couldn't teach yoga. So I'm recovering. I'm okay, but I do teach yoga normally. I also organize yoga retreats. I'm doing now a formation in coaching. So I have 2 NLP trainings already that I did in Berlin 2023 and 2024. And now I'm doing like a combination coaching, which is NLP again, systemisch, how do you say that in English? Systemic coaching, personal coaching and business coaching. This is my main stuff. I have lots of plants. Like if I turn this camera around, it's a jungle in here. I love my plants. I have a balcony where I grow my own stuff. Salad, tomatoes, strawberries, everything. I love plants. I love hiking. I'm German. I love hiking. Very stereotypical, I guess. And I'm sure I forgot something. I work out at the gym. I'm a gym person. I also have a training to be a gym instructor. You curious little one, if you have more questions, keep asking. How long does it take? This is the last question. Question number X. How long does it take until I master German? Oh, now this is a good one. There's no answer to this question. That's the answer in short. It depends. It depends. For every language, it took me a different amount of time and energy to study the language, to get started speaking the language. And I also saw that many of my students, for example, for German, needed a different amount of time to really grab the language. First of all, what does master a language mean? Master, you could say, okay, with B1 you're able to speak fluently. You master, you can survive, you can do everything you want to with B1. But real mastery maybe for you is being at the C2 level, passing the C2 exam, being able to study at university and talk about all the different topics in detail. If this is mastery for you, then you need the C2 exam, or at least the C2 level, maybe not even the exam itself. I helped a lot of students already to get the C2 exam, and it took them really, they're different approaches. So first of all, the rule of thumb is that for one level, maybe you don't even know the levels. So the level is A1, A2, beginners, B1, B2, intermediate, C1, C2, advanced. This is the European frame of reference for languages. So for each of these levels, you roughly need 150 lessons. You can do a course, you can study everything on your own, you can watch YouTube material, you can work with apps, you can work with a teacher, you can do a combination of all of these things, which I do and I recommend you to do. So roughly 150 lessons. Now you take this, like you multiply this by 6, and then you know how many hours you, in theory, like theoretically, need to master or achieve C2 level. Don't forget the T, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have to define for yourself, again, smart method, specific, measurable. Like how do you know you master this language? What is your goal? And a question I get very often as well is from students who already reached C1 or C2. Like, how can I sound like a native speaker? I give you my best advice now. My best advice. Lean in. If you want to sound like a native speaker, you got to imitate, copy and paste native speakers. How do you do this? Go to YouTube, Google, whatever, shadowing, like a shadow. It's a technique where you listen to something, maybe it's a video, it's a podcast, whatever you like. You imitate, like you listen, you read, get a transcript, and you read and you speak at the same time as this person. You're copying, you're like a shadow. So if this person says, ich sitze, at the same time you say, ich sitze. You're shadowing them. And this is really an amazing method, because you not only get the pronunciation right, but you also get the intonation right, like the flow of the language. Very important as well, where do you make these small pauses between the words? So in Germany, we really like to, it's not only in German or in Germany, it's like in every language that you have different preferences of grouping the words. So for example, if we start a sentence with a location, for example, in meinem Arbeitszimmer, in my workspace, in my home office, in meinem Arbeitszimmer, we make a short break. In meinem Arbeitszimmer arbeite ich. We don't say in meinem Arbeitszimmer arbeite ich. In meinem Arbeitszimmer. This is the location. This is the group. do the shadowing. I hope I answered all of your questions. All the questions I wrote down, I answered. And I think even more. If you have more questions, please write them down in the comments below. And also let me know what was the most interesting advice that I gave today. Enjoy studying and see you on the next one.